What up, what up, what up? It's your homeboy B. Watt, and you are now tuned in to another episode of Cancel B. Watt. And in this episode, I would like to talk about a young woman who seems to be everyone's favorite IG model and socialite, Miss Lori Harvey. Now, the news on the internet is that she has a new boyfriend, and personally, I don't care who he is, because honestly, it's not important. I understand that many people, especially young women, are literally obsessed with the dating life of Lori Harvey because it appears that she has honestly dated everyone. Her dating history is extensive. Every couple of months, she pops up with a new rapper, actor, athlete, or some entertainer. She dates them for a couple of months, breaks up with them, and repeats the cycle. And here's my opinion about it. Lori Harvey understands how to leverage her relationships with famous men and utilize it to attain status and clout. Some might say it's the Kim Kardashian method, but I don't particularly care for that comparison. In my opinion, Kim Kardashian is on another level. Now, granted, Kim Kardashian did get her start as like Paris Hilton assistant, but she actually blew up because people became fascinated with her dating life. Kim Kardashian was dating Nick Cannon. I remember she was dating Reggie Bush. We all know she was messing around with Ray J. And she took all of that attention she was getting from dating these men and she used it for free advertisement and marketing for her business ventures. So if Lori Harvey truly wants to follow in the footsteps of Kim Kardashian, the first thing she needs to do is go ahead and release her long-awaited and highly anticipated sex tape. Real talk. I remember last year they were saying she allegedly dropped one online. I must have wasted like 2-3 days looking for that joint. I know I'm not the only one. Most people, when she get ready to drop this tape, it's going to be online ready to download that joint that day. It's probably going to be a bigger seller than Kim K and Ray J was. So if she really following the Kim K blueprint for how to exploit famous black men for clout and fame, then she need to go ahead and drop that joint while the streets are still waiting for it. But then again, Marjorie and Steve Harvey, they ain't built like Kris Jenner and the Kardashian clan. Oh, nah. See, Kris Jenner, she is a business visionary. Steve Harvey is a documented simp. Let me put you on some game about Lori Harvey. First and foremost, Lori Harvey is not Steve Harvey's daughter. That's his wife Marjorie's daughter, who he allowed to have the Harvey name so that she could benefit from it for clout and fame. Now, a couple of years ago, Steve Harvey's wife, Marjorie, got into an interesting situation. Here's what happened. Steve Harvey went through a period where he didn't have much trust for his wife because he found out that she was taking some of the money that he was giving her and sending it back to Lori Harvey's father, who's serving time in prison right now. So Steve started running around like a chicken with his head cut off, trying to transition all of his assets into another name so Marjorie wouldn't file divorce against him and take all his assets. So he was like transferring his houses into other names so he could protect them from his wife. So when you start to evaluate some of the feminine influences that Lori Harvey has around her, you start to realize that she was really groomed for this lifestyle. I'm going to drop one more jewel for those who really could see and connect the dots. So earlier I mentioned that Steve Harvey had some distrust for his wife because he caught her sending money back to her ex-husband who was serving time in prison. So the natural question is, who is her ex-husband? And what is he serving time in prison for? I will say this. It was alleged that he was a member of an infamous drug gang. But what's more interesting to me is the fact that Marjorie was also investigated by the DEA and the FBI for her alleged participation in this organization. So here's what I want to know. Steve, did you know? Did Steve Harvey know who this woman was? Her background, her history before he got married to her, got involved with her? Or did he discover at some point during the marriage that his own wife was a former drug queenpin? I have no evidence for this other than my own wild imagination, but I have often wondered, is Steve Harvey even free, or is he being extorted by a man in prison through his own wife? I know, I have a wild imagination, but when you take a microscope and take a closer look at the feminine influences that are surrounding Lori Harvey, maybe some of her dating habits make a tad bit more sense. And also, there seems to be this conversation, right, debating whether or not Lori Harvey's dating history qualifies her as a hoe or not. Is Lori Harvey, being a socialite, being a public figure, is she indirectly fueling young women's interest in hoe culture? I say yes, and I also say yes. Here's the thing about it. Here's advice that a brother would give to a little sister, right? You would tell your little sister, hey, little sis, never date two guys at the same school, right? Because they're going to talk about you. They're going to call you a hoe behind your back. Now, what this brother is really doing for his sister is he's trying to protect her reputation. And indirectly, he's trying to protect his own reputation because he knows how guys talk. I think that many women today significantly underestimate how judgmental men are about your dating history. And I'll explain to you why. Every few months, Lori Harvey got a new famous boyfriend. And I think when women hear that, they think to themselves, oh, that's so nice. You know, Lori Harvey is one step closer to finding her one true love. You know, Michael B. Jordan and Diddy's son, they weren't perfect for her. Now she's found the perfect guy just for her. But men, all men hear is that she's smashing somebody new. And she's breaking the big brother rule. She's smashing men within the same social circle and thereby damaging her personal reputation. Like, think about it. How do you think Steve Harvey feels? He allowed this young woman to have his name, right? So she could benefit from the use of it. And you Google Lori Harvey and the only thing that come up is all of her bodies. As a man, is that something that Steve Harvey should be proud of? Newsflash, ladies. There are a lot of guys out here who will date you for years just to have sex with you. So women think that, oh, all these guys hating on Lori Harvey because of her body count, but these men are still sleep with Lori Harvey. So that must mean a woman's sexual history isn't really as important as men make it seem like it is. And to that line of thinking, I call cap. Just because these men, even famous men, are showing you attention, taking you out on dates, being seen with you in public, and appearing to maybe even be cuffing you, does not mean that they do not consider you to be a hoe. I'm interested to see which one of these guys finally drops down on one knee and makes an honest woman out of Steve Harvey's baby girl. Because honestly, he's the one who's going to have to bear the cross and bear the embarrassment and shame of all the whole activities that his future wife is currently involved in. And Lori Harvey is bad. Most men are going to take their turn. Future, Trey Songz, Diddy. Ain't nobody turning that down. But at the same time, just because Michael B. Jordan was even looking like he was cuffing this chick, not only did he have to go through the shame and embarrassment of everything that came with their breakup, but now my poor brother Michael B. Jordan might never open up to another black woman again. Y'all know we just got him back from the other team. So for all my real sisters, we lost one. And to all the real thotties pulling up at the red light, twerking on headlights, hoe culture lives on for another day. Yep. So that's all I have to say. Listen, like, subscribe, and tune in again to another episode of Cancel Be White.